So hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and for this soft glam look we're going to start off with some primer. Use whichever one you use. I use the one by e.l.f. The I forgot what it's called, but the super grip one, that one. And then I use their eyebrow gel in the clear shade. I gotta get my eyebrows together, if not this hair will be all over my face. Okay, so I go back and forward through it just to work it in really good and get a nice little sheen to it, a nice little, I don't know, shape to it. And then I go with my big spoolie because the little spoolie is not big enough for my thick ass eyebrows. So I go in with my big spoolie and just shape it up and shape them however I like it, smooth them out, make sure all the hairs are just like where they need to be. Then I go in with my Born This Way Too Faced Shea Honey with an angled brush, and I think it's a flat angled liner brush, and I just take what's on that wand and I put it on the brush, and then I put it on my eyebrows and I just shape it out however I want my eyebrows to look. That's really, key. And since my eyebrows are like growing out a little bit, I do let that concealer sit for a little bit. And while I let the bottom sit, I just do the top, just carve out the top. Just make sure everything is nice and even, nice and clean. And then I know some people stop putting the concealer in the middle of their eyebrows, but that's y'all and that's not me. So I put the concealer in the middle of my eyebrows because I do have a unibrow. Don't make me say it twice. So I am going to just conceal that, especially when I'm in between like visits to go get my eyebrows done. It has to be covered, okay? It has to be. So I put that concealer on there, and then I take the flat liner brush and I just start really just buffing it out, making sure it's nice and smooth and stuff like that, because we don't want like any clumps or like any texture issues or whatever happening under our eyebrows or on our eyes. So make sure you buff it out, make sure it's nice and smooth. And it is a very, very like full coverage concealer, so you won't have to worry about nothing peeking through. And you see this? I'm just, making sure my eyebrows look like twins and not sisters. See, they look identical and we love it here. So next thing I'm going to take is my e.l.f. This is in the shade Tan Neutral, and I'm just going to use this to prime my eyes. And I'm going to take my concealer brush, and again, you're going to buff it out. You're going to buff it out. Like, just make sure it's nice and smooth and that you don't have like no built up product anywhere, because once you start laying that eyeshadow, you will see it. Okay, so buff it out. And look at this. Do you see how it's one color? We want it to look just like that. Okay, and I'm just gonna keep going in until I like it. And here's when I noticed that my face is mainly made up of just eyebrows. So yeah. The next thing I want to get is my Morphe. This is the 35M Ball Smooth palette, and as you can see, I be digging through this palette. I'm going to use this dark brown color at the very end. I don't know the shade, so don't ask me. I threw away the paper. That's over. So tap off the excess and go ahead and pop that in your crease. And then I put like a little bit, I don't really know how to describe it, like on the edge of my eye, on the outside of my eye, so I can get that cat eye look later. And then, yeah, just, hit your swirlies, get in that crease, and make sure you don't have too much powder on your brush, because with darker shades, like, it's better to build than to start off strong and have to figure out how you're gonna clean that mess up. Okay, so go in like really soft with those brown shades, and I want to take this really light tan, like neutral brown shade, and blow it off like me, just like Charlie's Angels. Okay, and you're gonna pop that in the inner corner of your eye, and it's just to add just a little bit of gradient. Like I said before, just make sure you don't have too much of that eyeshadow on your brush, because it is a hassle. It's a hassle to try to go back and clean that up. So you're just gonna go in between those brushes, and you're gonna, do the light brown, then a dark brown, then a light brown, then a dark brown until you like how it looks. Okay. I typically go in with that light brown shade like a few times just so like I can have that nice gradient effect, and this is what we're left with. Okay. Now I'm going in with the foundation. This is Rihanna's Fenty Beauty in the shade 420, I believe. And I just put that on the back of my hand. I take a brush and I just take it from the hand to the brush to the face. Okay, so get some of that foundation on your brush, and I really think it's important to maybe put your foundation on another tool, whether that be your hand or like a makeup, like I don't know, those little makeup palette mirror things, just so you can see how much foundation you're actually putting on your face. And then over the top of my eyebrows, I do carve out my eyebrows again with the foundation because we don't want our eyebrows to look like they're levitating off our face, right? So we're just going to put that foundation as close as possible without like going too far over the concealer we shaped them with. Then we're going to take our wet beauty blender, grab a little bit more of that foundation off your hand or wherever you put it, and you're just going to blend that foundation all over your face. Make sure you get your neck, your hairline, like get everywhere. Get everywhere. We want to be one color, okay? That's the whole point of this, right? So don't be scared. Your hair is going to be okay. You're going to look bomb, right? So take the same shade that you use to do your eyebrows and you're going to pop that underneath your eye. So make sure you get up underneath there. And I'm going to just say this. We're going to let it sit. We're going to let it sit still. You're going to let it sit still, okay? And you're going to put a little bit on that outer corner of your eye, especially if you want that kind of cat eye look. This just helps clean it up a little bit. And I put a little bit on my nose, around my nose, and then I go on my forehead like I'm Simba. And as above, so below. You're gonna put it on the chin too, okay? So put it on the chin just a little bit, and we're gonna let that sit. And while we're letting that sit, we're gonna go in with our darker contour shade. I'm using Chai by Too Faced. My camera was messing with me today. One of my other bigger haters. The next bigger hater, if you thought it was one fake bee in this room, it's two. And the second one was the wand to this concealer. It was really trying to take me out the game. So you're just you're really just going to carve out, your cheekbones and stuff like that, making sure that you get it snatched. Then we're gonna take the little dots, do little dots around our forehead from one cheekbone to the next, and we're gonna let that sit. Okay, this is the key. We have to let it sit. See, this is how we're looking. Then you're gonna take that makeup brush and you're just going to start patting that concealer down. Remember what I just said, you're gonna pat it down. You're gonna pat it. You're not gonna swirl it. Don't swipe it. Don't rub it. You're gonna pat it down so we can keep that full coverage look while also getting that airbrushed look. When you do it with the brush first, it just gives you a softer look, even though it feels like it's a lot of makeup. You're gonna use all of it. So don't pick up your beauty blender. Use a brush first. And you see how I'm just patting it around my chin, and it's just like still full coverage, but it looks so much softer. That is how we're gonna do it. You're just gonna keep patting it. You're gonna pat it everywhere you want it to be. And it's just gonna be so soft, and it's gonna give you like such like a smooth finish without giving you like those streak lines or whatever happens, okay? So take your brush and we're gonna go along our jawline for that concealer that we let sit, and we're just gonna buff that out. You're gonna buff it into your under eye concealer, just blend it all together. And we're gonna do that on both sides of our face, and then you're gonna trail that brush up and all the way around. Basically, what we're doing, we're just blending all of our makeup together. We're just blending all of our makeup together. Like, that's really the key to all of this. The key to the streets is blending your makeup together. So get the forehead, blend that in to all your concealer. And as you can see, like, I'm starting to look, a little cute, like a little something. I'm starting to look like something, starting to look like somebody. And this is what you want. So I'm going to take my next shade. This is in Taffy. This is also by Born This Way. And I'm just going to take that and I'm going to really just sculpt out like the bottom of my cheekbones. Just so I can get that snatched look. Like I'm trying to be snatched. You feel me? So we're just going to place that there. And I'm going to take this e.l.f. concealer. I believe it's in shade Neutral. I might be lying, but I believe that's it. It'll be in the description box. And we're going to pop that up underneath in the innermost inner corner of our eye. We're going to let that sit. Then you're going to take your darker contour shade so you can do your nose. And don't be like me. Make sure you take the excess off. This was a new bottle. And I forgot to just like scrape it away. And now look at me, panicking. So when I tell y'all I use everything up underneath the sun to try to get this to blend because I put too much, I'm telling y'all, I used everything from brushes to beauty blenders to everything. Like, you can't see the fear in my eyes yet, but eventually, like, I crack. Like, I'm literally trying to like make the best of this without looking like who did it and why. So here is like when the fear kind of starts setting in. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. So I take my beauty blender and I just buff it out because not only will it just take a little bit of that product off, you can also blend it in. Like, here's the panic. Like, you can see the heavy breathing and all of that while I'm trying to get this look together. So, like I said, don't be like me, but learn from me. So, take your beauty blender and just blend that all the way out. Make sure you get it on your eyebrow bones so you get that nice snatched look. And while we were dealing with the nose fiasco, I let my contour on the bottom of my face sit too long. And here I go, panicking again because I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's so white. So again, I'm taking everything up underneath the sun to try to get that to just cooperate with me. Beauty blenders, brushes, like all of that. Like, I'm wetting everything and I'm trying to get the concealer to move. But that's a true tribute to that concealer because it don't move, which is a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to take my concealer brush again and I'm just going to pat that lighter shade into my under eye because we like a bright under eye, right? That's something we like. So we're just going to pat it, but we're not going to go all the way across our full under eye with that, just the inner corner. Then you're going to take that shade Honey again and you're going to highlight your nose with it. I do that. I take my brush and I just do a little bit more detailing. And then I do go in with my beauty blender just to take a little bit of that excess product off and give me like a nice, like, gentle glow. And this is what I look like, still freaking out. So I'm going to take my Fit Me powder foundation. This is in the shade 330. And we're going to try to fix this mess that I did at the bottom of my face. So just to try to tone that down and get the product to move like a little bit more, I'm going to start putting that foundation down there just so we could hide that big, thick, old line of demarcation. Okay, then I'm gonna take my bronzer and I'm just gonna like buff that line. When I tell you I was putting that brush to work overtime, okay, overtime, I was trying to get that line going, trying to get it going. Like, I was actually getting blue a little bit because it just was not going nowhere. But for real, shout out to that concealer, shout out to my primer, because as you can see, that makeup is not moving. So I just go in with my brush again and just try to melt all of that together. And then I have my e.l.f. putty blush. This is in the shade Caribbean, and I just put that on a brush and I place it underneath my under eye kind of, but just like going up on an angle, because I do want it to be like really really soft and stuff like that. I want to have like a soft, like gentle glow with my blush. So I put that everywhere and I just try to blend that into that concealer so it looks like nice and pink and gives me like a very cool look, right? So then I'm gonna go in with my Laura Mercier setting powder, and we're gonna start underneath the eyes first. Make sure to pat that extra powder off on your hand or wherever you can get it. You don't want it to all be on that little sponge thing, right? This is in the shade medium deep, and I just put that underneath my eye. And after I get underneath my eye, I grab some more powder and I start putting it all over my face. Because guess what? Everywhere that you put like a cream or a liquid, you're gonna put some powder. And I will never leave this powder alone. It is my ride or die, my airspun, and I'm just gonna go in with that just on the inner corner. That's the only place I use it, just to keep my under eye nice and bright. So look at me. Then I take a clean brush and I just brush all that extra powder off. Now it's time for more blush. This is the Juvia's Place palette, and I just go in with this, not too heavy, but just enough. And then I set my face. This is the e.l.f. setting spray. I believe like the all-nighter one. Don't quote me, but it will be in the description box. And I just let that dry down. Then I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Big Mood mascara, which is like very, very good. It lasts all day, like no streaks, no smudges. And I love how big the wand is. And then I go in with my NYX pencil. This is in chestnut. And if you go get you one, go get me one too, because every time I go to the store, they sold out. Um, so you're gonna go in with that, line your lips with that, and then I go in with my NYX Butter Gloss. It's like a brownie color. I forgot the name of it, but again, it will be in the description box. And I'm gonna take a lighter lipstick. It's just a nude, a pinky nude lipstick, and I'm just gonna pat that in. And this is the finished look. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. I appreciate and I love you all, and I hope you enjoyed this. Remember to come back every Wednesday, because that's where I'm gonna be. Bye.